Hi, you have tuned into the Raging Aggron channel, and I'm your host, Djingis. And I'm here with a very interesting video of sorts. Actually, it's very interesting, since, well, as you might know, since most of you that watch these videos are in the PSL server, I'm in a new league. I am in a league called Aura, and it's owned and organized by James Sanity. That was a GBA analyst from last year. Really cool dude. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. It will be so fun. I've gone with a completely different team than what I usually draft, but I've got a lot of monsters that I would like to test out, and some ones that I'm used to using, some components that I haven't really used before, some that I have used before and that I really love. So as you see here, our first Pokemon, I mean, the draft went in the draft where 12 part draft. You should draft 12 Pokemon. You should draft 1 Mega. You should draft 2 Tier 1s, 2 Tier 2s, 2 Tier 3s, 2 Tier 4s, and then 3 4 slots. The Mega and the 4 and the 3 4 and the 3 slots take away from your points, and you started with 200 points. My Mega Lopunny, as you can see here, cost me 100 points, so then I just had 100 points to take another 3 months with later on in the draft. But I was really fine with that, because as you know, Mega Lopunny is my absolute favorite Mega. I'm so pleased to get it, and I can say that this draft was not what I should draft from the get-go. I had a completely new draft in mind. That was way different from this, but I ended up at 4th place in the draft system, in the draft lottery. So I just had to change up my whole draft plan, because my draft plan was drafting Mega Beedrill in like the 5th or 6th round, and then before that just draft Tier 1 bulk and power. I mean Tier 1 power, Tier 2 bulk, and so forth. So I changed up quite a bit. There are 3 months here that I wanted either way. I mean, if we go back, as you can see, my whole team. Of these 12 months, only 3 were months that I really wanted. And I really wanted Mega Lopunny, I really wanted Alolan Ninetales, and I really wanted Gourgeist. And then Slacking, as you can see, is just there, because why not? So I was 4th overall. And I was really happy that they allowed Magyarna and Tapu Lele, because that meant that Mega Lopunny would be guaranteed to drop at least to pick 3. So I was really happy with that. So 1st overall went Tapu Lele, 2nd overall went Magyarna, and 3rd overall went Jellicent. I mean, Jellicent is a good one, but not 3rd overall. So I was really happy. I could draft Mega Lopunny, no problem. If you don't know how good I am, I mean, not say how good I am at Mega Lopunny, but let's say I know how to use Mega Lopunny. And if you don't believe me, I got 15 kills in 3 weeks with Mega Lopunny. It will not get that many kills on this team, I feel like, but it might, because it's very fast, hits extremely hard, doesn't need a lot of coverage, just destroys people's souls no matter what. But Lopunny is the only Mega that I could really see me drafting, except Mega Beedrill, because I wanted that fast, hard-hitting Mega. And of course, Mega Death Lopunny will return to us. It will always return to us. Then as my second pick, and that was, since it was a snake-like draft format, I was not sure that I would be able to draft anything of the monster that I wanted. And sure, Celesteela got sniped from me late 1st round, but I was fine with that, because Skarmory was still out there, and Skarmory was still there when I had to pick my next pick. So I went with Skarmory in my round 2. So Iron Maiden, the Skarmory, will be on our team. Very physically defensive, bulky, Rock Setter, Spike Setter, Defogger, Roost, Brave Bird, Iron Head. Not very fast, not very good speed def, but has a great defense and pretty okay HP. Very annoying to deal with. Whirlwind Roar, I mean, it's such a good Pokemon. It would be really good if it had like base 80 HP and base 90 speed def. That would be even better. But it is what it is. I really like this pick, since it gives me a very good hazard removal and a very good hazard setter. And that is something that I didn't have in previous leagues. I mean, I don't think I had a single rapid spinner or defogger in PSL, and in ABL I only had Tentacruel, and I have dropped Tentacruel for Vaporeon, so I don't have a single rapid spinner. Oops. I don't really care about that. But I really wanted to have it on this team, because this team really depends on not having the opponent hazard stack me. So I really needed Skarmory, and I really needed some other default rapid spinner if I could get it. But yeah, so Skarmory here in round 2. So that was my first tier 1 pick. And then I saw that, okay, someone already started drafting really bulky water types, but 2 of the best bulky water types already are not taken at all. And Suicune was not taken, and Vaporeon were not taken. So I was like, okay, if someone drafts Suicune in the 6 picks before my turn again, I will draft Vaporeon. But no one drafted Suicune, so I will get one of the best, if not the best, bulky water type in League format. Crocoon, you can run it Specs, you can run it Scarfed. I've seen a lot of utility from this thing. Crocoon is the most common set though, and it does what it should do, even if it's predictable. You can't really do anything, because it's so strong. Yes, it's one of the best Pokemon in Draft League format, in my opinion. You will never run into Focus, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's, as you can see here, I also noticed it got Air Slash. I did not know that before. Extra Sensory I knew about, Extreme Speed I did not know about. So I don't know if they have fucked up Suicune's moveset here, because it says Iron Head as well. So I don't know if they have fucked up its moveset, or that it's just gone crazy. But I'm pretty sure that Suicune never got Air Slash, Extreme Speed, or Iron Head before. I could be wrong, but I don't think I don't feel like it. But it doesn't really matter. It's a great Pokemon overall. Very hard to deal with. So when this pick was over, I was like, okay, I still need a tier 1 pick, and around 80% of those that was drafted had already drafted both of their tier 1s, and you could already see some interesting teams being used. You could see the start of a Rain team. You could see the start of a bulky offense with Tapu Lele and Magearna lead. So I really needed something that could abuse weather, and I really needed something that can destroy Tapu Lele and Magearna. And then I noticed that, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Styx the Suicune, of course. And I saw that no one had drafted Escadrille, and Escadrille is the only response to both Magearna and Tapu Lele in Draft League format. So I was like, hey, let me pick up Escadrille. I don't lose anything for it. It's a good Pokemon, very fast with Sand Rush, extremely bulky, very hard hitting, can do a lot of things. Gives me a Rapid Spinner, a Stealth Rocker. Very good Pokemon. So Rammstein, the Escadrille, is ours. And it is a steal in tier 4. Not tier 4, in round 4. In my opinion, at least. And I have no clue why no one drafted it. Because this thing single-handedly... kills. I mean, I don't even need to run Life Orb. I can run Expert Belt, and if I run Expert Belt, I will kill both Tapu Lele and Magearna, no problem with this thing, because Dual Stab destroys them. I have no clue why no one drafted it, since Mega Tyranitar was still on the board, regular Tyranitar was still on the board, Gigalith as well. So I mean, you had a lot of potential Sandsetters, and it was 2 teams that didn't draft single tier 1 before late in the draft, and there were a lot of teams that have one tier 1 spot open and a mega spot open pretty late. So I'm really happy that I got Escadrille. I mean, you know what it will have set most of the time, because it doesn't have the best move pool, but it just hits so hard that it's impossible for the opponent to stop. Outspeeds most was Scarfer in sand. But since there's quite a lot of weather teams in this league, we have a sun team, we have a rain team, then we have my sand team. Not sand team, but I have some sand abusers. I have one sand abuser and some Pokemon that actually gain a lot in the sand. So it's a very interesting league in that sense, and I think I am facing both Lele and Majerna, and I am facing all weather teams. So that would be really, really fun. But Escadrille, extremely hard hitting Pokemon, very, very good. I have 2 extremely bulky Pokemon, I have 2 extremely hard hitting Pokemon, and then I noticed that the only thing I can't touch with this team is grass types, bug types, and so forth. I know that I can deal a lot of damage to them with Lopunny and so forth, but I really needed Stab Fire because steel types were another problem. I felt like, because if Lopunny goes down, I don't have anything for it. And I've also noticed when I prepped for some months in the past that you need a hard-hitting fire type. I have Arcanine in the ABL. I had Magnoper in the PSL, and I noticed that they were very good attackers, but they just lacked a bit of power. So I went with Darmanitan. Rhapsody of Fire, our Darmanitan here. And that sheer force base 140 attack, 95 speed, and 105 HP. I mean, it's so good. Extremely, extremely underrated. And it's a very good tier 3 pick. Yes, this thing was tier 3. No, it was tier 2. Sorry, it was a tier 2 pick. And I was just like, I mean, I would pick this up. No problem. I mean, why wouldn't I? And I'm also allowed to use Zen mode. Then I switch around the attack and special attack stat, and I'm also get a bit more bulk in defense and special defense. I will be a bit slower, no attack, and so forth. But then I can actually wall Mega Venusaur completely, and I'm pretty sure I face Mega Venusaur. So I have a pretty good viability with this thing. I know that not a lot of coaches will use Darmanitan as Darmanitan because it's very, very bad, but it can be pretty good versus poison types to get that stab psychic. So I don't really know how I will do that, but it's a later problem. Sheer Force, it's extremely good. This is a very good Pokemon. Base 95 speed is extremely well, and as you can see, my speed tests are pretty well here. But I will just go through our last Pokemon here of the first 6 that I drafted. And this was a tier 3. Hailstorm, our Ninetales, Alola Ninetales. I will have Snow Warning all day long. This thing is... I mean, we all know what it does. It sets up snow and gets up an Aurora Whale. So I have Aurora Veil, and I have Skarmory, and I have Suicune. I also have pretty bulky mons if you look at the HP in Escadrille and Darmanitan. And now I can set a buff to their defense with Aurora Veil for 8 turns, and I will hit so hard. So I can really abuse a lot of teams with this thing. And my biggest concern now was that I had Hail, but I didn't have Sand. And I was looking at a lot of different opportunities because, I mean, of course, my Mega slot was already picked, so I couldn't draft Mega Tyranitar. I could not draft regular Tyranitar because I didn't have enough points for that, since both of my tier 1s were already picked. I could not be 100% sure that Gigalith would be there later on. So I had to look at some other opportunities to run Sandstorm. One of them was to have Sandstorm on Escadrille, but I didn't feel like that was a good idea. It was also one idea to have it on Skarmory, but I wasn't sure if it got Sandstorm, and I didn't feel like it was worth it since it doesn't give the speed F boost anymore. It's not, as long as, at least not to my knowledge. Because I calced a lot with the sand, and I can't see boosted speed F anymore. steel types, 4 steel types. So it's just a speed boost for Escadrille. Alola Ninetales, it's a very fast Pokemon. It has okay amount of bulk, but Ice Fairy is a very poor typing. A lot of not a lot of resistances, but a lot of moves that are neutral towards it, and a lot of moves that are super effective towards it. So, and even if it has pretty okay move pool, and it gets no warning, so it has Blizzards 100%, it's a very good Pokemon in that sense. But most of the time you need this thing to be more of a, what should I say? Most of the time you need this Pokemon to be more of a screen setter rather than an attacker. But base 81 special attack is pretty okay, especially since it has Moonblast, Blizzard, Freeze Dry, and so forth. It can deal a lot of damage to his team, or to any team. Since it has a very high base power move that are stab. So it is pretty hard with this, and I know that Alola Ninetales is very unique in one sense, but I really wanted it because I really needed a fairy in my opinion. I really needed that stab Moonblast, and I really wanted stab Ice, and I also wanted the Aurora Veil to make my team bulkier. I was very happy that no one picked it and no one wanted to go Slash Rush. Slash Rush. It's so bad to say that. But yeah, as you can see here, my speed tiers are very good. I have base 135, base 70, base 85, base 88, base 95, and base 109. So I have a lot of Pokemon that are not very cramped. I mean, some of them are cramped up in speed tiers, but I also have this big leap. But I don't have this big leap between 95 and 135 that I used to have. But I have this 109 here, and I think I picked up another very fast Pokemon later on. So these are my first 6 picks, and I'm really happy with this team so far. Then we went on to the next round, and I noticed that Swellow were tier 4, and I did not think it would last long in tier 4, so I just picked it up. Guts is extremely good, Scrappy is even better, Specs Swellow, Scarfed Swellow, it hits so hard, has a lot of good moves that you can use, but you have to make sure that they are allowed in Ubers, so you can't really run. I can't combine Heatwave with Hurricane and so forth. I could run Heatwave with some things, I guess, but it's not. So I have that opportunity. But since I have Darmanitan, I don't really feel the need for running Heatwave Swellow. It's a very good Pokemon though. Very fast, gives me that base 125 speed. Scarfed Swellow will outspeed almost all opponents' Scarfer, and if I am Scrappy or if I am Guts, I can do a lot of damage to the opponent, and I don't really need to worry about it. I don't know if it gets Air Slash, but it does. Yes, it does. Then you just run like Air Slash, Scarfed Air Slash, and you flinch the opponent to death. I mean, you can do a lot of different things here. So I'm really happy that I managed to draft Heavenly the Swellow. And after this pick, I have 3 months that I really want to pick up, and then I have like 1 if I don't hit anything else in the last round. I can just pick Slacking. But yeah, so we're like, okay, I need a Swellow because that's extremely good tier 4 pick. It's so good. It's one of the best value picks you can get in tier 4. So I drafted it, and I'm really happy that I got it. Then I had to wait another like 10 or 20 picks, and then it was my turn. I was really glad that Gorgeist was not taken. If you have seen my other leagues, you know that I love Gorgeist, and I've used it very well. It's a very annoying roll when I use it. Leech Seed Synthesis and so forth. The only problem is that I have it on a Sand team and a Hail team, so I can't really abuse Synthesis as much as I would like. But the Leech Seed is good enough to make good use of Gorgeist. You just run Leftovers, Leech Seed, and Pain Split, and then you cover it up pretty well. It's a very good Pokemon. It's very bulky, especially if you run max special defense. You will have a good opportunity to just wall a lot of things. As long as it isn't a super effective hit, you can't really do anything. It's also a spin blocker, which means that I can stack my opponent pretty well. And I have all hazards except for webs. And I was close to getting webs as well, but all of the good web setters were used and I didn't want to live any. So yeah, it's a very good Pokemon, and I really love Gourgeist. So Halloween, the Gourgeist is here for the 3rd time. That's insane. But it's a very good Pokemon, very underrated. And I've used it very well in the past. I mean, the good thing with this thing is that it can actually wall things like Tangrowth. It walls Escadrille. I mean, I have Escadrille of course, but I mean, other steel types and your ground types, it walls grass types pretty well. Rock types doesn't do anything to it, and it's so bulky and you don't even need to really do anything about it. And this is, as you can see, not the Gourgeist that I would use. I would most of the time use this Gourgeist. So I gain a bit more bulk, I gain a bit more defense and lose a bit of speed. But I'm really fine with that. It does, I mean, I gain all 4 Gourgeists, so I'm really happy with that. Very, very good Pokemon. And then I was like, okay, now it's time for me to do this pick. It's still there. I've waited so long for my Sandsetter, and I did not think that it would stay where it were. So I was just like, okay, just have the cool to wait and not draft Sand. So I think that it will not draft Sand, and I've already drafted Hail, so I might think that I will go Hail instead of Hail instead of Sand. And for some reason no one drafted Gigalith, and I'm not sure why. Because sure, it does get Sandstream, but it also has Sturdy and Sandforce, and it's extremely bulky. And if you have Sturdy, then you can max out its regular defense. You can take an Ice Hit and just explode on them. Or you can take a Water type and just explode. So it's a very, very good Pokemon in that sense. Gains another Stealth Rocker. I don't know if it gets Spikes. I don't think it does. It does not get Spikes, but it gets a lot of good moves. Earthquake and Rock Slide and so forth, Stone Edge. It's very, very good. One of the best Sandsetters as well, since it's, well, there aren't loads of Sandsetters, but it's one of the best. And the only problem is that it gets walled completely by a lot of Rain Setters and a lot of Sun Setters. Even if it has EQ, a lot of its Sandsetters are more bulky, and they will most likely just go in, set up the Sun, and then just switch out. So I need to be really careful about that. Weather is a very, very good bring most of the time, especially if I pair it up with Escadrille. But I have to look out for the Rain teams and Sun teams and so forth, and Defoggers, because that can really put a hole in my plan very easily. So I went with Behemoth, the Gigalith here. And why are you Gourgeist? Why do you not have a name? So Halloween, the Gourgeist is here again, guys. So Behemoth, the Gigalith is here, and I'm really looking forward to use it. I have not used Gigalith once. I have a lot of these monsters that I haven't used at all. We'll go through that later on. But I really like this pick. And I also have a very, very wide spread of speed stats. So now we're like, okay, I have a good steel types for Fairies, but I need a dark type and I need a poison type. And both Alolan Muck and Drapion was still on the board, and I prefer Drapion. So Battle Beast, the Drapion is ours. Battle Armor, you can run Sniper. So it's very, very, I don't know if it gets, it does not get Focus Energy, that sucks. But you can do a lot of things. It sucks that it doesn't get Focus Energy, because then you can run Critian, whatever you would like to call that. But as you can see, it's very bulky. Base 110 defense, base 95 special defense, base 95 speed once more, and a very good attack stat with Poison Dark Stab. So Stab knockoff is always very, very good to have. And I really like this Pokemon in that sense. It's very, very underused in Draft League format, I feel like. And it also has a pretty good move pool. It does a lot of damage to the opponent, and I'm pretty sure it gets Swords Dance. It does get Swords Dance, I mean, it can set up Swords Dance, and then base 90 is extremely good attack. So it's a very, very good Pokemon in that sense. It can be AV, It can be defensive, it can be spike setter, defogger. I mean, it's very, very versatile, very hard hitting as well. So, and it's very, very hard to prep for because you really need the EQ, and I have a lot of flying types and ground resistances. So I'm very fine with that. It pairs up extremely well with extremely well with mons like Gorgeist and Megalopony, even Skarmory. So it's a very, very good Pokemon in that sense, only one weakness. So I'm really happy that I got that. And then in my second to last pick, I noticed that I don't have an electric type. I'm not most of the time I don't really care about having a fast electric type. But I noticed that no one had drafted Raichu, and Raichu has a pretty good move pool. So I was like, okay, let's go here let's draft AC/DC, the Raichu. I mean, it gives me that base 1 of 10 speed, pretty okay bulk, it can be both physically and especially offensive. Has a pretty okay move pool. Static is pretty good. Lightning Rod, it's extremely good because then I can actually pair it up extremely well with both Skarmory and Suicune, and even Swallow, and it will not. And I have an immunity to electric that I didn't have before because I don't have ground type except for except for Escadrill, and Escadrill will not switch in on water type or or anything like. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemons that gains electric stab that also have grass or water type moves, or has just electric moves and then have stab, water, grass, and so forth. So it's a very, very good Pokemon to bring in here. Raichu, it does a lot of damage. It can do a lot of things as well. I mean, Fake Out, Extreme Speed is a pretty common set. Encore is very good as well because it's so fast. Knock Off, Nasty Plot, Nuzzle. I mean, you can do so much with this thing. It also gives me a Volt Switcher, and I'm pretty sure that I don't have another Volt Switcher, and I only have one U-turner in maybe two. But I don't know if Skarmory gets U-turn. I don't think it does. But I know what's it called? Darmanitan gets U-turn, and I'm pretty sure that Swallow gets U-turn. So I've had I know that Raichu will most likely not come most of the time, but it's just there to put on some electric pressure, and it's nice to have electric stab because of all those bulky water types and some flying types. So that's very good. I'm really happy with those picks. And then my last pick is Last Tribe Slacking. As you have seen, I've used it I've used it in all Draft League formats. So I really like Slacking in Draft League format because it hits so hard. It's, in my opinion, one of the best revenge killers. Because you switch in, you click Retaliate, or you click Return, and as long as you don't have a Ghost type, as long as you don't have an Intimidator or a Steel type, this thing will destroy your team. And most of the time, I can just send it in every time you lose a Mom. Just click Return, Retaliate, Gunk Shot, EQ, and then just switch out next turn. And then just go into like Megalopony or something fast that hits hard. It's a very good Pokemon. Also gives me that base 100 speed, together with 100 defense, 160 attack, 150 HP with pretty poor special defense. But you can work around that pretty easily. It also gives me base 95 special attacks. It hits extremely hard. So I mean, just to put it in perspective, Slacking has base 95 special attack, 75, and here we have 90 and 81. So Slacking has higher special attack than almost all my other special attackers. So I can run some funky sets with that, and it also has a pretty good special move pool and physical move pool. So this is my team. I'm really looking forward to this league. It'll be really, really fun. The coaches are really good. I am maybe one of the least experienced coaches in the league, but I feel like this team walls a lot of the opponent's team, so I don't really have to worry about it. I have a Sand Setter, I have a Hail Setter, so I can have a good weather control. So I'm not very scared of the rain teams since I have a Suicune and I have a Raichu. I'm not very scared of, and I have Gorgeist as well for that matter. I'm not, and I also have Skarmory. I'm not very scared of Sun teams because I have Darmanitan, I have Gigalith, I have Slacking that can take loads, that can take some fire hits. I also have, wow, why do I blank here? I also have Suicune, and I mean, I can set up the sand versus them. So I mean, it's just like the teams that build around the weather, like the rain team and the sun team, will not have a very easy time versus me. And so that's that. And I'm pretty sure that first out in this league is my match versus Todd and the Washington Blizzards, and that match will be played this week and will be up latest Monday. So that will be really fun. I've already have a team in mind and I've already started building it, but I just need to test it out and waiting on a response from him when I can build it. There will also be, I will link the main channel in the description. There you will find some coach interviews. You will find some other things as well. We will have some analysts that will do videos over there. My coach interview will be pretty soon. I think we set Thursday. Yeah, we set Thursday for the interview. So my interview will be up pretty soon as well. But with that, I would like you to I would like to get some feedback on the team, what you guys think. I'm very happy with this team. I have a lot of good Pokemons here. I have maybe 1 or 2 Pokemon that I might drop, but that depends on how the season continues. But for now, I'm very happy with this team. I have a lot of pressure versus a lot of teams. I have a very good. I don't have a Dragon Fire Steel core, and I don't have I have a Grass Fire Water core, but I don't have a Steel Fairy Dragon core. But I don't feel like I need one per se. And when I had my 3 last picks, there wasn't any dragons that were good, or a good tier that I could pick up pretty freely. Sorry guys, it's pretty early here. So that's why I went with JP and Raichu and Slacking. I might have been able to draft Dragalge, but I feel like it was tier 2, so I would not been able to draft that. And even so, I don't really need a dragon type on this team, because Dragon is only super effective versus Dragon, and sure, it's resist grass, electric, water, fire. Most of them are flying, so they resist fighting as well, or poison, so they resist fighting as well. But I didn't need that, in my opinion. So this is the team that I will bring. No, this is the team I have to build my counter teams with. And if I had to do a prediction, I would say that if I play as I played in the beginning of PSL, I will have no problem going through to playoffs. If I play as I've been playing the last couple of weeks, like the last 6 weeks, I think it is. Yeah, the last 6 weeks. Then I will have a hard time going to playoffs. But I just might go to playoffs due to matchup. But yeah, this is my team. I'm very happy with it. The only problem is that my special wall in Suicune doesn't really have, well, I don't really have a designed special wall. Skarmory is physically defensive. Most of the time you will see Suicune as a physically defensive Pokemon. This has Calm Mind. Gigalith is not a special defensive Pokemon, even if you can run it special defensive. Slacking is maybe my most specially defensive Pokemon if I run it AV, which I might not do that often. Gourgeist is another one that can be specially defensive, but most of the time you will see it like in mix, and that's good enough. But I'm very happy with this team. As I said, week 1 will be up this week. But we will play week 1 this week, and then we will see how it goes on from there. I will continue building my week 1 team, and I will start building on week 2 as well, and on my next week in ABL. I really look forward to do this. It'll be really, really fun. So yeah, there was something more that I was about to say. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, but if you liked my idea with Aurora Veil, Sand Rush Escadrille, together with Skarmory, Suicune, Gigalith, Gorgeist, I mean, I have a lot of good defensive Pokemon that also are pretty offensive to pair up with the Aurora Veil, so I'm pretty happy with that. I don't have anything else to say. I really look forward to start this league. I'm really hyped for it. So with that, I will see you next time, guys. And as you noticed, there haven't been an Emerald in a long time. I will continue. Of course, I will not say that it's an unfinished. I will not finish an unfinished project, so to say. I will not cancel it. But I feel, but I have to. I don't have time to record as much as I thought I would. So I actually have a hard time to record my ABL matches and put them up. But I will try and get the Emerald Nuzlocke going again. It's just that I need to go up early and record before I go to school, and then just edit it whenever I can. Just upload it. I will still just upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays when it comes to that. But that's about it. But here's my draft recap. So we have Megadeth, our Megalopony. We have Iron Maiden, our Skarmory. Styx, our Suicune. Rammstein, our Escadrille. Rhapsody of Fire, our Darmanitan. Hailstorm, our Alola Ninetales. Heavenly, our Swellow. Halloween, our Gorgeist. Behemoth, our Gigalith. Battle Beast, our Drapion. AC/DC, our Raichu, and Last Tribe, our Slacking. Those are my 12 Pokemons. Those are the Colorado Aggrons for this league. And as you've seen in the thumbnails, I have changed my logo. So with this, guys, I will see you next time. Bye.